So I'm back. I'm not sure where I was cut off at, but I'm just gonna be dropping information, about this all day anyway, in my own way, because I freestyle. I don't write, sit around and prepare videos like some people do, and sit around and wait 3 to 4 weeks to prepare this video and make it all professional. I don't know how many views it's gonna get. I don't know. I'm not looking for that. I'm just telling you guys what happened. This is what I do. I do it. Why am I sharing this? Because I feel like it could help someone. I really do. I feel like it could help someone, even though it sounds dark and some people may say it sounds very demonic, like I was saying earlier. But I feel like it could help someone. Like I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I've been studying about sovereignty before I let go of it. Like I studied about it for years. I had good teachers like Jordan Maxwell. Studied up under all of them, man. Personally, though, I'm saying Jordan Maxwell, different people. I'm not gonna really disclose their identities, but this information you can get called cracking the code. I'll just say that. Then the people that's deep in sovereignty, the old school sovereigns know what I'm talking about. This information called cracking the code. And the people that wrote cracking the code, those are the people that taught me. I'm just gonna say that. Those are the people that Trump, some people like him, he knows what I'm talking about too, because he comes from that same think tank. We was learning about this years ago, back in 2000 and whatever. I'm not gonna even go into that, but back in the early 2000s, though, let's just say that. So we were studying this stuff. So I know a little bit about it from that. And then, you have to get your own experience and have your own way. Like those guys, they believed in going to the Federal Reserve and getting loans. And I get it. They get money like that. That's how they do it. Me, I'm more of a realist, hands-on type of guy. So I choose to put my hands on the start and build this stuff up for myself. And what I did was that I just left my ID expired in a certain place. I'm not gonna really go into that. And in that county, that's where what you call, when you become a sovereign, you are a king or queen. Remember that. Any sovereign, a true one. No paperwork though. You are a king or queen. You see, and that's where wherever your last ID, wherever you decide to let it go at, let the matrix go at. That's where your kingship will reside. Period. Wherever your last place, wherever you died at. That's what happens when you become a king. You gotta die to become a sovereign. You gotta die. Yup. Like I'm considered dead in private courts. My straw man's considered dead. Judges use my straw man and get 801ks and stuff off of it. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna I know the judges' names, bro. So I'm just telling you, I know a lot about it. And that's how I was able to, start to secure money, and people start to believe in me. And it goes through phases though, because sometimes they say I'm crazy. Got to remember that it goes through phases because people, they like comfortability. They don't want to have to go through all of this, not having no ID, because it's hard. Can't get no hotel. You seen me out in the streets freezing. They're not gonna give you no hotel. You ain't got no ID. So what you gonna do? Sovereign. You have to. All you got is your word, and that's hard to keep that as a sovereign a lot of times because you got to deal with these masons, and keeping a word with masons is hard because masons, they deal in plays. So like truth and lies is all susceptible to them. I'm saying this is how they look at life now. Truth and lying is susceptible to the beholder, to them, because everything, a lot of these masons, their whole life is tied into a longer play. I know you don't understand all of that, but this country is really deep, and a lot of people are ignorant. But this country was really set up off of a play and kind of never got discontinued. And it's people just keep taking on the roles of this person, that person, and that person. The play keeps going on and on. People get wrote out and wrote in. That's how it goes or whatever. I know you're like, well, what does this have to do with sovereignty? It has everything to do with it. Because if you don't even know who George Washington really was, how you gonna be talking about sovereignty? You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that you would have to know. So that's what I'm here to do. But just to kind of point it out, you got some sovereigns, their parents had money, so they came from wealth. Their parents helped them out. My parents ain't helped me with none of this. My parents are against this. Like they don't like this. Not my parents. My mother supports me, but she ain't supporting what I was talking about, all that other stuff I was just talking about. I don't support that. So my family doesn't support that. So this is something I have to go on my own, man, and do. I'm just keeping it real. So that's how it is. So I had to expat out and set up and had to make myself slowly still trying. It takes years to do this, man. Trying to make myself into a king. One of my examples, I'm not gonna really say who it is. It's like a father figure to me. I'm not gonna say who it is, but this guy was out for a long time, man. This guy was out of this shit for like over almost 100 years, man. This person, I know sovereigns that's been out this shit for a long time. and that's rich. I'm talking about filthy rich, like just living in like houses, mansions with gold all around it. Been out of this shit for a long time, and that's my. I'm not gonna say who, but I know a few different examples. I got a couple of them. Those are my examples. They've been out this shit for over 100 years. Some of them. I'm talking about, I know sovereigns that's like over 200 years old. You might not know them. I know them. You know what I'm saying? So it's deep. But again, first you got to master your diet. How you gonna live through all of this? See what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people start from the basics. Who are you? Do you know your natal chart? Everybody want to come into the money and stuff like that first and go downtown and get the money, but I didn't even end up getting mine like that. Like I ended up using stocks and some other stuff. I'm not gonna go into it. You know, I had to buy in, of course. It was a hard process, and it's still hard because they try to. This is like competitive. You got people every day. You got to remember when you a sovereign competing against you, trading against you on the New York Stock Exchange. So when you become a sovereign, your Social Security and all that is now being traded on the New York Stock Exchange, man. Deep shit. So before you can even start talking about, I want to get a car, I want to buy this, I want to get that, do this, do that, get out the grid, da, 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 da. How you gonna make money? Like you got to first start. Okay, are you healthy? Start out with that. Okay, so you healthy. You know, you think you could survive. Okay, cool. Because you're gonna be out there. It's gonna be some nights you ain't gonna have nowhere to sleep. If you're trying to do it my way, and you're gonna go to do it their way, they still dealing with IDs though. Like they say they sovereign, but they going down to the Federal Reserve, and they're still dealing with IDs. Oh yeah, because they're dealing with that gold flag with the gold fringes around it. See, they playing in what's called military admiralty law level of sovereignty. That's how they doing it. That's how they decide to do it. Me, like I said, I'm just totally off of the grid type of cat. And it's hard because I monetize. See, some people, they just off the grid, they living off the grid, but it's like, what do you have to show for it though? Yeah, you off the grid, you're a sovereign, but what type of monetization do you have? See, that's where I started getting, later on I learned from some other sovereigns that's in the music industry. They taught me about monetizing. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't monetize, there's not much that you could really get on a sovereign level. I mean, you got to have some kind of money. Like I said, they dealing with IDs. If you're going to do it the independent way, the way I did, I just monetized off of YouTube and other social media websites. And I also monetized through the military as well. See, I study. If you want to learn more about what monetizing is, it's more than just running ads on YouTube and all of that. That's an aspect of it. But monetization is an art. I learned it in marketing. You can monetize many different ways. Many different ways. So if you want to start to secure stuff, like I said, first you got to figure out, okay, my health is right. You know, I'm clean. Okay, so now what am I going to do to make money? I suggest you find a stock that you understand. Any stock, pick a stock. And the way you're going to learn how to invest into it is that you're going to use your Social Security, and of course, you're going to have to get more guidance on how to do this, but essentially what you're going to be doing is using your Social Security to secure stocks. You're going to be trading your Social Security in for stocks and trading, because Social Security, if you just let it sit there, it's just going to be used by older people. Like if you just don't do nothing with your Social Security money, I'm just going to keep it real with you. You're going to have a group of 60-year-olds collecting your Social Security money as their retirement. See, there's no, or their as their Social Security, because there's no Social Security. Social Security is really out. So that's what they're not telling people. There's no Social Security. Social Security is out. The only reason why it's still going on right now is because they're using children's. This is a secret. Children's Social Security to live off of. See, if they cut it right now, all of that's out. If they cut Social Security, then you're going to have a way to monetize. See, your Social Security number is an EIN number. That's what you got to remember. It acts as an EIN number. You can do things with it. You say, well, what about taxes? You got to pay taxes and all that. You might not. It just all depends. You might have to pay a tax, you might not. There's sales tax, there's different taxes. You're always paying taxes as a sovereign because there's different taxes, tolls and all kind of stuff. So yeah, you always gonna be paying taxes. That's kind of like past the point. But everybody's like, I thought you had to pay no taxes when you were sovereign. They lied to you. That's what I'm saying. You need to sit down with someone that's living it before you just start going and hearing about stuff. You say, well, you just don't know how to do it. I've studied just about all the programs out there. An acceptance for value program, all of that's got loopholes in it. People go around saying they ain't gonna pay their bills off, they're just gonna accept them, the bills for value. It's loopholes in that stuff. They're gonna like put liens on you doing that type of stuff. The best thing to do is to clear your name. Like if I really was to going back into the matrix right now, my credit's A1 steak sauce. If I really was like, okay, I'm gonna get an idea and be like these guys, I'm straight. I'm not, like I said, I'm an enthusiast. I'm doing this. They're like, well, you need to go back in. Yeah, you got people fighting me like that. But I'm doing this, and why I'm doing this is because I'm an enthusiast, and I'm here to show you that this is really how we're supposed to be living, though. Because truly, all of these IDs and all of that is built on murder capital. That's another thing. See, I get into that as sovereignty. See, people are just living off of people that's dead in America, man. It's a dead man's law in Ohio. It's out of Ohio, and a lot of people are using this law that you can just get a credit card off of your dead ancestor. You can go get a credit card in the state of Ohio right now off of your dead ancestor. He been dead a long time ago. You gonna go get a credit card and buying houses and all kind of shit off of it. And this is how I'm saying, because people are living off what's called murder capital and the dead in America. So really, they like, why you doing this and all of this? Because really, truly, even though they not gonna, I mean, of course they going to keep the facade going because we got these computers and machines running everything. But really, truly, this is how we're supposed to be living, though. Just to keep it all the way 100 with you. So I'll come back up with more. Just want to kind of share you guys with some of what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, cars, I was able to. I just want to show you guys you can do all the same stuff. You just got it's just different terms and how you do it. And I'm not going to go into a lot here, but you can own vehicles. You don't, you know what I'm saying, have to necessarily freeze. You can eventually one day get to a status where you're accepted and people would know who you are. I haven't made it to this level yet, where you could just get a hotel room because you got so much fucking money. I haven't got to that level yet. But eventually, I mean, you can get around all of this ID stuff with the right amount of money and the right certification. You got to remember, as a sovereign, you was what's called certified. So you got to have the right certificates and the right service and put in the right type of energy, of course, to be able to prove, in case you do get in a situation, it's going to be your resources against theirs. So that's what it's gonna come down to as a sovereign. You a king now. So the government, ain't your friend no more. You're a sovereign. The government ain't your friend no more. Matter of fact, they looking at you like an enemy and you a problem to them. That's what I'm in, the scenario I'm in. So like I said, it ain't all peaches and cream, but like I said, you can have certain things. You can do certain things as a sovereign. You don't have to necessarily struggle and be rough, but it may start out rough. Like, look at me, I started out rough. I'm still cleaning myself up. I still haven't really 100% showed you guys, like I said, where I want to be, because like I said, there's people living in mansions and like living on, like, you know what I'm saying, like living high on the hog, straight sovereign, man. Done paid all of this stuff off and been doing this shit for years, and just to them it's nothing. Like, it's just nothing. This is how they live. But then you're not gonna see those type of people in society because they're gonna keep them hidden away from you. So me, I'm like a guy, like I said, I put myself out there because this is how I started, and this is my way. This is how I came in, through monetizing off YouTube and teaching my story, which I know, like I said, it could help someone. And astrology and knowledge of astrology, which this country was built off of by Benjamin Banneker Bay. That's right. He was a master mason and astrologer. Is going to be needed if you really think you're going to be a sovereign, because this country is ran off astrology. Don't get it twisted. They want you to think it's a pseudoscience, but it's different aspects.